Hi guys, welcome to today's video. So today we're going to be taking the grenade launcher up against the bots, and the reason for this is that I've made quite a few videos with the grenade launcher lately against the bugs, and I made one the other day using the grenade launcher against the squids, and it was one of the first times I'd use it against the squids, and I haven't used it very often against the bots either, usually because it doesn't kind of, it never used to seem, at least, a weapon that would be too effective against the bots. However, obviously now it's had the heavy pen increase. I don't want to say recently anymore because it's probably about 5 or 6 weeks ago now. But yeah, I haven't used it against the bots since then. And certainly when I did use it in the past, it was quite some time ago, and probably in a team setting with the squad. As a kind of chaff clear, my main form of chaff clear. But yeah, with the changes to heavy pen, we're going to take it out today, and we're going to find out if this really is the new meta weapon across all factions, because it does incredibly well against the bugs now. You can use it against the squids. It's really effective there as well, and obviously now we're going to try the bots, the third and final faction. Okay, so the loadout today is the supply pack, the grenade launcher, I think the 120, and the Eagle Strafing Run. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to just Strafing Run the Fabricator there. And weapons-wise, we have the what's it called? The Plasma Punisher. That's it. Okay, so, and the Punisher is obviously going to help us to stagger enemies as well. There's quite a lot of bots on these planets nowadays on Super Helldive, so I think the Punisher is going to come in handy there. Okay, so we're going to throw down our 120, and we're going to get a bit of distance because I think there was already a dog in the camp already, in the outpost already. Yeah, there he is in the distance to the right there. So I'd already spotted him, and to be honest, I don't really know how effective the grenade launcher is against dogs. I know you can shoot its belly. I don't think shooting its face is all that effective. However, we do have the Ultimatum as our secondary, so that will be able to help us. So yeah, as you can see there, I mean, even if you could land shots on the dog's face with the grenade launcher, it's going to be a big ask anyway, because they just come out of cover. Sorry, if you're out of cover, they'll just absolutely annihilate you. Okay, so use an Ultimatum there. So here he is, Ultimatum to the face, Strafing Run. We're kind of just in cover, and then the Strafing Run finishes him off. So yeah, the Ultimatum I think is going to have to be our primary form of dealing with dogs today. Maybe the 120 can help us. So just getting that guy out of cover there. Trying to get the grenade in the vent, but that's a pretty difficult shot from there. Okay, so yeah, the grenade launcher can obviously take out the fabricators if you shoot the grenade into the vent. However, I do have the Dynamite as my throwables today, and the Strafing Run, the throwables, the Dynamite and the Strafing Runs are both really effective for taking out fabricators as well. Okay, so the 120 I use for the drops, and my Strafing Runs I use for chaff clear. And boy, so I think that guy shot me and I flinched. So one of the most annoying things I think in the bot faction is shooting your Ultimatum and getting flinched at the same time, and then it inevitably kills you. Yeah, so the reason for the Plasma Punisher, as I said, is mostly to to stagger bots when we need to reload the grenade launcher, and it also does a decent enough bit of damage that it can kill off a fair few bots pretty easily. So the shield devastators, those guys, I think it takes maybe 2 or 3 hits with the plasma punisher. The rocket devastators and the berserkers, I think, is about 4 hits, and obviously the Billy Bobs, the little dudes, they get taken out pretty quickly. 1 to 2 hits depending on whereabouts you are with the plasma punisher. Okay, so a lot of guys there, so I don't really want to be going toe to toe with a Hulk when there's a lot of other guys trying to hit me. Okay, so another bot drop detected. That was quick. They got in quick. Jesus, unless I didn't see it earlier. So we're going to get another resupply down. And as I said, I don't really use the grenade launcher against the bots all too often. So I'm actually kind of finding out how it works as I go along in this video. So the first half of the video is a bit clunky gameplay wise, I think. And then towards the second half of the video, I end up kind of figuring out, oh, okay, this can do that. You know, this is doing this much damage to this enemy and that much damage to that enemy, and I kind of figure it out. So we're kind of, you know, I guess we're figuring it out together as we go along in this video. Okay, so for Hulks, if I remember rightly, I think that's about 5 or 6 grenades, maybe similar to a charger. So let's have a look here. So we actually get 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I think he must have been damaged from something else because that was very quick. So yeah, the amount of patrols now, 5, 6. Yeah, so that was about 6, but I don't think they were all direct hits. Some of them were kind of, I'm having a little dance here with him. Okay, so that was, yeah, maybe 6 or 7 grenades. So that's not too bad. And as you can probably see, I've got 4, I think I've got 4 belts with the grenade launcher. Oh no, maybe not. No, just a 3. Just a 3, because I'm taking the engineering kit passive, which gives me the extra throwables. So 3 belts with the grenade, and then the supply pack is obviously going to keep us topped up. Because, yeah, we want to use this as our main weapon for pretty much everything, other than maybe the dogs and the tanks. I think tanks, you're probably better off using the Ultimatum. Okay, so the first objective is done, or the first sub-objective. So collecting the hard drive. However, we're going to leave the hard drive there till later. We're going to go around this side of the map and get a few things done. So there, as you can see, that was about 4 hits for the rocket devastator. But I think the reinforced, for the rocket devastator. But I think the reinforced rocket strider is what I'm trying to say. I think the reinforced rocket strider was a bit quicker. I think he was only 2 or 3 hits. The plasma punisher. And yeah, I could have used the grenade launcher there, obviously. However, I think, you know, when you've just got a couple of enemies there like that, then it's much easier to just switch to the plasma punisher and not waste as much ammo. Okay, another bot drop. So we get a 120 in over there because that's the drop the drop area, and it's also the what's it called? The mortar emplacement. Okay, so we've got patrols coming out the wazoo as usual. Yeah, it is. I would say it's some mortar emplacement done by the 120. So, oi, got lucky there. I got a bit of unragdoll out of the water. So yeah, I would say the grenade launcher is definitely one you want to be using from distance, although even now it's like the bots are insane for accuracy even from distance, as you guys can probably see there. But yeah, it is a bit better if you can, because they're not as accurate from distance as they are closer up. So if you can use it from a kind of a mid distance, then I think it does help. It allows you to not get flinched as much, and then you can get your shots in and you know, kill off the patrols a bit quicker and whatnot. There you go, more flinching. And you could take the flinching passive thing. However, the last time I used that, it was absolutely trash, and not really worth it. It reduces the flinching. I don't think it doesn't completely stop it. Okay, so we're in a bit of a torrid time of it here, as you can see. And yeah, the grenade launcher does take a little bit of time to reload if you don't have the old siege ready on. Siege ready. Okay, I don't know if these guys are left over from the drop or whatnot, but yeah, there's quite a few enemies about here. Some in the thingy still, in the outpost. Patrol this way. Enemies from the drop left over the other way. But yeah, the grenade launcher seems to be handling it pretty well, I think. We'll get a dynamite on for that fab in there. I think that was the second of the two, so that's done. So we can now move on to the next area. Okay, so this is the next sub-objective. So there's usually quite a few dudes in here. So we get a bit of a you know, pre-barrage going in before we even go in there with the strafing run and a couple of dynamites, just to clean it out a little bit. And there's usually a couple of hulks, if not more, in here. We get a strafing run for that hulk and whatever else is behind it. So hopefully that damages him a little bit and we can finish him off with a grenade launcher like that. Okay, still another hulk in there. Another random rocket devastator out of nowhere. Yeah, they're really sending everything on you these days. Yeah, on the bots now. Okay, so let's aim in on his center mass. So I mean, obviously it's best to aim for the eye. However, that is pretty difficult to do at times. So I generally just aim center mass with the hulks with the grenade launcher. Yeah, so overall I was thinking that as I was getting towards the second half of the mission and as I was getting used to, you know, using the weapons in tandem with each other, I really felt that once I got comfortable in that kind of situation, that this loadout is actually pretty easy to use. So even if you're not, you know, particularly good at aiming like myself, you don't have to worry too much about aiming with this loadout. Obviously, you still have to aim, but the Plasma Punisher is an AoE, area of effect. So even if you slightly miss, it's the explosive part of the weapon or part of the whatever it fires, the plasma. That's still going to do damage. So even if you miss slightly. So it was, it did end up being not easy, but one of the easier missions I've had to play against the automatons lately. Certainly since the siege ready or the Siege Ready, the Siege Breakers update. So the update that was in tandem with the Siege Breakers War Bond. So yeah, it's a pretty easy time of it, I guess. Which is, you know, it's nice, but at the same time, I do think that the grenade launcher is now becoming meta, and it's not. I don't think it's just meta because it's become heavy pen, which obviously, you know, if it was still medium pen, it wouldn't be meta. Certainly not. However, one of the reasons I think it's now becoming meta is because the amount of enemies that are on the map these days on Super Helldive, certainly for bugs and bots. Luminate are kind of still the same, I think, but for bugs and bots, the amount of enemies you're getting now has just increased to a point where the grenade launcher is one of the few weapons that can literally cope with the amount of enemies. So, for instance, if you're bringing a recoilless rifle, you know, what weapon do you use to clear the chaff? You know, you could bring, for instance, the Diligence, but because of the amount of enemies you're getting against the bots now, and you know that causes ragdoll, so you don't get the time to get your shots in like you would have done in the past. You know, the bots, they've increased the difficulty, essentially, but unfortunately I think the only way Arrowhead know how to increase difficulty is to add more things, so more outposts, and to throw more enemies at you. So unfortunately, I don't think that's the best way to increase the difficulty, because it reduces the amount of skill you need to complete these missions on the bots, I think, personally. But yeah, I certainly think that is what is causing the grenade launcher now to be the new meta. So the combination of its ability to do heavy pen and the way the game has changed, in that there's so many enemies now, so many patrols, that you really need something that's got high DPS, that can clear a lot of chaff. Even against the bots, you need a chaff clear quite a bit now. And is also versatile as well. That's the third thing. Your weapon needs to be versatile, I think. So that's my opinion anyway. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think the grenade launcher is the new meta? And you know why? And if it's not, then let me know what you think is the current meta for bots. I'd be interested to hear that one as well. Okay, jammer time, the absolute bane of my existence. This is literally the worst thing against the bots. I think I'd rather tackle a mega nest than I would a jammer. Yeah, me personally anyway. Okay, so I don't want to get trapped by two Devastator and what are they, Berserker. Okay, so bot drop detected, so we couldn't get in there quick enough, unfortunately. So, oi, luckily I priest him there. Okay, so we're getting into a situation now where we've got patrols coming from behind, we've got the drop in front of us. Yeah, these jammers really are an absolute fucking nightmare. But luckily we've still got a supply left on our pack. And we've got the grenade launcher. So Dynamite in there to clear out some chaff. We get a bit of we'll get crouched down so we can get some accuracy on the Hulk. Switch to the plasma to stagger these guys, which comes in very handy. Finish the Hulk off with the grenade launcher, which is also managed to deflect and finish off that reinforced rocket striders. That was nice. So again, bit of AoE damage not only from the plasma Punisher, but also from the Hulk. Oi! Okay, so I think there's like 3 or 4 Hulks down there. So I don't want to shoot the walls. I'm being very careful with the Ultimatum. Because I did do that recently. Well, a few weeks ago. And yeah, not fun, is it? Not fun when you shoot yourself in the face with the ulti. Okay, so I mean, I literally can attest to how good the grenade launcher is, because it's not many times I get to do the jammer without dying. At least once. Or having to fall back quite a bit. So maybe a combination of the jammer, a combination of the grenade launcher and the plasma Punisher. Okay, so Hell Bomb down, so hopefully whatever of those Hulks is left down there, they're about to get royally fucked. Okay, and we'll get a strafing run down that kind of gully area. Gully? Alley? Whatever it is. Okay, so let's get our supplies quick. And get out of dodge. Because I want to throw down a 120 behind us. Okay, and the good thing about the 120 is it will deal with the majority of the breach. And as I said earlier, I usually pair the Eagles with it, the Eagle Strafing Run, because the Eagle Strafing Run is incredibly versatile. You can take out patrols with it, you can do damage to Hulks, you can take out fabricators with it. It will do damage to the likes of the factory striders as well. So it is pretty versatile and powerful as well at the same time. So yeah, so what I do is because you've got 5 strafing runs as well, that's also incredible, because you know I can be going around the map. I've got a few patrols I need assistance with, so I throw strafing runs at them, and by the time the drop comes in, I've still got 1 or 2 left, so I can utilize those against the drop as well. So anything that the 120 doesn't catch, I can use with I can strafing run it. Okay. However, you do need to remember to rearm them, which I don't think I've done at this point. Okay, so there's still quite a bit left on this map to do, and we've got 15 minutes left. So as I said, because of the recent updates to enemy spawns and enemy patrols and stuff like that, so there's more enemies in the patrols, and they're more accurate. There's more ragdolling against the bots now because of the accuracy. There's more fabricators on the map left to do. Well, there's more. Sorry, I should say there's more fabricators on the map these days. So it is rare that I get a full clear nowadays. But we'll see how we get on with the time we've got left. So quite far to go. So I am just stimming my way across the map, and I do see some supplies extracts. So I'm going to go and grab them quickly. Little bit of a detour, but probably worth it, because then I can not worry about having to throw supplies down when I get to the main objective. And there's quite a few left there, so that's going to help a lot. Okay, so let's mosey on over to the main. Okay, so there's usually quite a few bots on the around this area. I'm kind of obviously when I was playing, I was just getting my bearings and seeing exactly where I was, and so there's like 4 shots to the shield devastator there with the plasma. Finish that one off with a grenade launcher and reload. Make sure we're reloaded. Okay, slowed on the old barbed wire, classic. Bot drop detected, so I'm assuming that's behind me. So I'm just going to drop the old SSD card here. And then we're going to deal with a few enemies that are kind of over here first. Make sure we get those done. And then we can throw our 120 behind us. And I think maybe the Eagles had run out, so I didn't need to rearm them. Because it looks like they're all back. So the 120 is going to do us a solid. And luckily we didn't get too many dogs to deal with in this mission. Otherwise that might have caused us more delay. Okay, so Strafing Run and a couple of Dynamite out to halt any of those bots that are coming towards us, and I can make sure I clean up the area here. Get a resupply in on the old terminal, because I'm obviously going to be going back and forth a lot there. Okay. So again, don't really want to be running with the package unless I have to, until things are clear. So make sure he's dead, because those shield devastators can just shred you to bits in nanoseconds. Okay, so we're getting there, making some progress. A couple of these bastards at the top. So try and finish him off. Another patrol coming in. So not really in an ideal place here with regards to not being shot. So get a bit of cover. Don't want to blow ourselves up on the lamppost, obviously, so taking a bit of time. So yeah, as you can see, the Plasma Punisher really is a fantastic primary as well for the bots. But I mean, if you were going to run this loadout, you could switch it out, obviously, to whatever your playstyle matches with. I used it mainly because I wanted something that would help me stagger enemies and do a fair bit of damage as well whilst I was reloading the grenade launcher. And the grenade launcher itself is obviously, you know, it's not a weapon of finesse. It's a weapon of boom, 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 boom. Like just smash shit. Which is fun, obviously. However, I do think it does get a bit boring after a little while. So I really do hope that Arrowhead change the way things are a little bit at the minute. Because for me, the game on Super Helldive Solo, at least, is not really in a good position. If you ask me, I've made a video on it recently, and yeah, it's divided the commenters. Some people agree, some people don't. However, I do think that the current spawn rates and the patrol rates on the bots and the bugs, certainly, maybe not the Illuminate so much, but definitely the bots and the bugs, it's kind of, it's a bit too much for me, if you ask me. I think Arrowhead need to look at balancing, but I won't go into that today. Okay, so this fucking thing, I couldn't actually hear whether it had locked in or not. So normally you get a beep, obviously, I'm sure you're all aware, but I couldn't hear the beep on this thing. And I think I'd forgotten actually where it was meant to go. So I'm just kind of going round and round. So this takes a little bit of time out of the mission, unfortunately. because I have to actually, so I've gone all the way around there and I couldn't hear the beep. And it's probably because the terminal was actually pretty far away on this one. And yeah, I've thrown a 120 down, but there's still more enemies. A couple of nice dodges there, though, I will say. Some fleet of foot. So yeah, still fair amount of enemies around, so it's never an easy time now against any faction. Another Hulk. So we're just going to ultimatum him just to get things moving quick. Oh no, we've missed. Okay, grenade launcher, you're up. Okay, just finish him off with one, so that's not too bad. Resupply ourselves. Reload the ultimatum. Get another resupply. Have a look at this thing. Right, halfway around. Maybe this time we'll hear it. So yeah, as I was saying, I do think that now that the grenade launcher is the kind of best weapon to take on all fronts, I think it's gonna get pretty boring pretty quickly, because at least for me, it's not really a finesse weapon. You don't really have to be very skillful with it to a degree. I mean, you still need to have a little bit of knowledge and a little bit of accuracy. I guess the knowledge is the key part. Knowing what enemies it can take out and in how many hits, etc. But yeah, it does. As I said, it gets a bit boring for me. Just, you know, spamming the button and, you know, well, just spamming the button, I guess. Okay, so strafing run down for this drop. Finally got that in the right place. So throw a couple of dynamites for anything that's coming on that corner. Although I don't think there was actually anything there. We get a bit of cover behind this rock. We've got a nice little runway area there, so strafing run down there. Get ourselves a few kills. I think that's a Hulk. I can't quite see on this one. Ultimatum out for him, another strafing run. We just want to keep them locked into that area, basically. So I think there's a tank in there. So Dynamite out the wazoo, because I know I've got some more supplies. Another strafing run out. Ultimatum for the tank. And then we should be about finished for the terminal. So just the huge code to put in. Which we can't quite do yet, because there's... I'm assuming those guys are from a patrol, because I don't think they're part of the drop. Okay, so he tried to sneak up on us, didn't he? Okay, so Dynamite out for anything coming around the corner, so we can hopefully get this code in without getting flinched. And job done. Okay, so no more supplies. So we head over to the Mega Nest. Mega Nest Fortress, sorry, not the Mega Nest. Okay, so we're heading over to the fortress, and we can see if we can get that done with the time left. It's definitely not going to be a full clear at this point, as you can probably guess. Obviously, I'm recording this afterwards, so I already know the answer, but I'll keep it as a surprise for you guys. You know, I don't want to ruin the surprise. So we load up fully, and then the escape pod data thingy is here. So we're going to get that done, because that shouldn't take too long, and we don't want another drop coming in. So we're going to hide. So yeah, I don't know if you guys know, however, if you start the upload escape pod data and some enemies come along, and you and the enemies, you don't kill them off quickly enough, then they will cause in a drop, even if you've literally just had a drop like 3 seconds before. the upload escape pod data essentially resets the drop timer. So when you are doing them, if you're wondering why the hell you've just got a new drop in when you've just had a drop, that is the reason. Okay, so onto the fortress. Being mindful not to get one tapped by the old base turrets. So we're just kind of scoping things out here, seeing what type of fortress it is and the layout. So there is a video on my channel on how to stealth each of the fortresses with C4, and it's obviously a good video on showing you how to stealth the fortresses with C4. However, it does show you all 4 different layouts of the bot fortresses. So if you also wanted to get some knowledge about the layouts of all the different fortresses, you could watch it just to kind of study the formations of them. It would be pretty handy for that as well. Okay, so I know that turret's probably gonna lock onto me when I'm climbing up the back here. So I'm getting rid of him. And we had a strafing run on it, and I'm just spamming the grenade launcher into the front of him because I just want him done quickly. And I know there's a drop over the top, so I'm going to throw the 120 over there to deal with them. And I've got my dynamite set to 60 seconds, I think. So, or maybe I've switched it back now. So we'll get a couple on them. I don't know if that one's going to work. I was panicking a bit. So I think we get a strafing run on that as well, just to make sure. Okay, so looks like that third one's done. So we've got 3 left, and 2 I think I can get from here with the dynamite. So 1 there, and then throw a couple of, oh, I've run out of dynamite. I throw a couple of dynamites that side to make sure that one gets done because that's a bit further away. And then was not expecting this welcome. So strafing run out for those guys because there's quite a lot of Billy Bobs there. Okay, so we're going to use the grenade launchers to good effect here. So the good thing about the bots is if you take cover behind a wall like this, they will kind of just single file towards you, and they will friendly fire themselves. So it is a good idea to take cover as much as possible. Okay, so there's 1 fab left, so I'm looking up here quickly to see where it is, and I'm gonna have to be quick and find it quickly so that I don't get one-tapped by any turrets whilst up here, which is a real danger. So a couple over there. Managed to see the final outpost, the final fabricator, and deal with that, so that's pretty good news. So I think we've got a couple of things left on the map. However, we are running short of time, and as you can see, there's a hell of a lot of bots on us at the minute. So the thing about missions for all factions is once you complete the main mission, the main objectives, the patrols increase, the aggressiveness of the enemies increases, the accuracy of the bots increases, so things just start getting pretty wild. So which is why I usually like to get things done before I finish the main objective. However, because of the map layout on this particular mission, I decided against it. And also, as I said, these days, like because of the increased difficulty of enemies now, it's becoming much harder to actually get a full clear on any of the enemies. Well, maybe not Illuminate. Illuminate's still relatively the same, I would say, but certainly bots and bugs. So I wanted to make sure I got the main mission done, and then anything else for me is added bonus. So we can see we've got the next to us. We've got the side objective, which is I can't remember what it's called, but it basically takes out all of the turrets across the map. So we're going to give that a miss because we don't have any time left now, and that particular side objective does take quite a lot of time to do. So that's another thing. So Arrowhead have obviously added that, and I think it's a really good side objective. I think it's really fun, and it actually rewards you, much like the Thief, although the Thief is boring. Everyone knows that. But it does take a lot of time, and when you've got a fortress that takes a lot of time, and you've got a jammer that can take a lot of time, and you've got the main objective, obviously, which is going to take a fair bit of time, then, you know, missions now are incredibly difficult to solo and full clear on Super Helldive, I think. Okay, so I'm just going to throw a couple of dynamites here just to be certain that those fabs get done, and there we go. So another fab done. Well, sorry, another outpost done. Okay, so we know it's not going to be a full clear, but I think we only miss one side objective. Everything else is done, so pretty happy with that run. I was getting used to the grenade launcher against the bots a lot more throughout the mission. And I do think it is fun against the bots, but I do think the amount of fun you can have with this weapon is going to be pretty limited. Myself anyway, you know, maybe, you know, it all depends on yourself obviously and what you enjoy in the game. So I'm kind of hoping that Arrowhead look at the balancing of the enemies and the balancing of weapons in general as well, because I think a lot of weapons are actually falling behind, such as the ballistic weapons, and I do think a lot of weapons in this game do need buffs in order to keep up with the meta. But maybe I'll make another video on that another day. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments about the grenade launcher and it being meta now. So yeah, you know, like the recoilless rifle was meta for so long that I guess it is good to have something else that, you know, changes the way we play, something fresh. But I don't think this was a conscious decision from Arrowhead. I think it's more of a needs must from the community. And luckily, you know, or unluckily, but some people might say that the grenade launcher now has the heavy pen and does enable us to deal with most enemies. Okay, so that's the video for today, guys. Thanks for watching, and if you did enjoy it, please think about liking and subscribing, and I'll leave you here with the numbers. Cheers.